and Rice will defend the south goal. There is JT Daniels, and what a path for the 23-year-old quarterback from Santa Ana, California. No longer wearing the cardinal and gold of the Trojans, no longer in the red, black, and white of the Bulldogs, no longer in the old gold and blue of the Mountaineers. JT Daniels now dons the blue and the gray of the Owls here at Rice Stadium for the very first time. Out to kick things off for Houston. Their junior from Dothan, Alabama, Jack Martin. Spent a couple of years at Troy, last couple of years at Alabama, and we are underway. On the return, tripped up just across the 20-yard line. And that will bring the grad transfer, JT Daniels, onto the field for the first time tonight.
Look, he's going to be running a pro-style offense, and that fits him very well. Look, he's not a runner. You're not going to see a guy that's going to run the football for 100 yards. He wins from the pocket with intelligence, anticipation, and accuracy. It's going to be huge for this Rice offensive line to give him time to throw the football, because if he's got time, he'll hit the open man.
Running the football was a challenge week 1 at Texas. Now the Longhorns' defensive front and defense across the board is probably the best Rice is going to see this year, but they have to establish the run from an empty backfield. They throw on first down, and it's a good pickup on first down for the Owls.
Yeah, that's a great first call. I call those jumping jack plays just to get the arm warmed up of your quarterback. Get him settled and into the game right off the bat. I love that call just to get started. My offensive coordinator, Marcus Tuiasosopo, he gets it. He played quarterback position in the NFL, and for a high level, he understands getting his quarterback lathered up early is a good thing.
The running back is Juma Otaviano, a redshirt senior from Arlington, playing his 6th year with the Owls. On his first carry, he spins toward the first down marker, and he will get to the 35-yard line for a first down.
Listen, you see JT Daniels. He was the Gatorade High School Player of the Year coming out of high school, and he's bounced around. It's some great programs. That's a lot of experience. That's a lot of great coaching, and they talked about that. They said, you know, Coach Michael Bloomberg said, we need to capitalize on all that experience and great coaching you got at other places, fold it into what we do here.
A couple of years at SC, 2018 and 19, 2 years at Georgia. He was on their national championship team, but gave way due to injury, and Stetson Bennett took over the job. Good push up front by the big boys. Clay Servin, one of the captains, starting at left tackle, number 71. They've got to establish early a physical presence.
There's no doubt about it, and staying ahead of the sticks is going to be huge for this Rice team. Possessing the football is going to be huge. You want to keep the ball away from this high-powered Houston offense by possessing the ball, stringing up third downs.
Daniels, quick strike. Pass behind the intended receiver, incomplete, trying to find Braylon Walker, the redshirt freshman who was so good in their season opener against Texas.
Yeah, they really like him. They think he's got a bright future, and that ball was a little behind him. And that's the type of throw that you want to see JT hit today, because it was right at the sticks, and that will give you an opportunity to very short third down opportunity. Now it's a little bit longer. It's still manageable. You can get it, but you need to string together third down conversions to keep this football away from Houston.
Last week, Rice was 4 of 13 on third down. Well, they pick it up there on a big play.
So right now the slants are working for Rice. You see at the top of your screen just a slant. That's a beautiful route there. And nothing very special, but he broke it off nice and tight and crisp. If the ball is going to be on time and on target against all coverage, it's going to be easy pitch and catch, and that's what you saw there.
15-yard pickup for Rawson McNeil. The coaches were very positive about the redshirt freshman from Marietta, Georgia. Owls on the move, and Houston up front is missing a couple of key defensive linemen. out of the reach of the intended receiver. That's Luke McCaffrey, another one of the captains who was a four-star quarterback, a dual-threat quarterback coming out of Ballard Christian in Highlands Ranch, Colorado. Went to Nebraska where he played quarterback. Actually, when he transferred here to Rice, still was playing some quarterback, but he has zeroed in the last couple of years on being the best wide receiver he can be. I mentioned last week, Rice rushed for only 27 yards on 25 attempts against the Longhorns. Keep it on the ground here. Ottaviano. Hakeem Ajijalaya with the tackle. And they're playing without Chidozie Nwankwo, their starting nose guard, and Jamari Caldwell, another one of the guys in the rotation in the middle of the line. So other guys are going to have to step up here tonight.
No question. And you see, Hakeem is a big boy. And when you get first down, incomplete pass, generally a running football team like Rice wants to be, they're going to come back with the run, and Hakeem is ready for it. 3rd and long here. Got to be smart with this football, JT.
Pocket collapsing. Daniels hops, throws, finds a man out of the backfield. Ottaviano inside the
but his pocket presence there showed up.
This will be the 10th play of the drive after the 25-yard pass play from Daniels to Ottaviano. And Daniels going to burn a timeout. Now, Rice head coach Mike Bloomgren just raves about the fact that JT Daniels is a true student of the game, transferred in January, and has really acted like a coach since he got here. And his teammates have taken to him, voting him one of their captains without him ever playing a game until last week.
Now, just think about that. He's only been here for a few months. And for him now to be recognized as one of the leaders on the team, you know he's leading by example. And that's what really true leadership is, right? Because the words and the rah-rah, that gets very old over time. But if you're the guy that's leading the drills, putting forth the effort, the extra time, that's going to win your teammates over. And we talked to Marcus Tuiasosopo, and we said, you know, what kind of guy is he? Said, well, he's watching film right now, guys. You know, I got to get him out of the building so often to get him some rest and get some sleep, because he's just a football junkie, and that's what you want at that position.
And there is the 3rd-year offensive coordinator, Marcus Tuiasosopo, the 2000 Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year. Of course, great quarterback at the University of Washington. Had a nice NFL career as well.
Played for the Raiders as well as other teams, but tough. That guy was a tough cookie. You could knock him around, he'd get up and make plays.
He doesn't have the body type to make you think he was a quarterback.
Exactly. In a good way, Coach. Don't come after me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ottaviano up the middle. Pick up of 2, maybe 3 yards. He's 5'10", 203. And along with Dean Connors, Dalen Alexander, Ari Broussard, they kind of do it by committee at Rice running the football.
They do, and it's an important component of this offense because, listen, under Coach Mike Bloomgren, this is what they do. They possess the football. They've averaged over the 5 years that he's been here almost 31.5 minutes per game. And so this is when they are hitting on all strides. They keep the football, and they try to score, obviously, when they get in this position.
Daniels goes to McCaffrey. He's got space inside the 10. He scores! Luke McCaffrey coming out of the slot, and nobody seemed to pick him up.
But why, Doug? Why did no one pick him up? Because your quarterback is standing in a clean pocket, and he's manipulating the defense with his eyes. Watch JT Daniels. He's clean. He's comfortable. Steps up, protects the ball, and then throws to the open man, because defenders have to look to where they think he's throwing the ball. And he's looking down the middle, and then at the end throws it to his outlet in the flat. That's a beautiful job of manipulating the pocket by JT.
Tim Horn on for the point after. And in this battle for the Bayou bucket in their home opener, it's the Rice Owls who score first. A 10-player, and you see the record for his tenure, 16-40. They are new to the American Athletic Conference this year. A lot of conference changes. Of course, this is the first year for Houston not in the American. They are on to the Big 12 Conference, so this may be the only matchup between these two old rivals for a number of years. But for Coach Bloomgren, he and his staff continue to try and build. And there are positives about being here in Houston if you're Rice University, and there are things that make it not so easy to build a winner, but they are doing what they can. They're doing it through the recruiting. And it's kind of a similar story at a different level for Houston. They got Donovan Smith from Texas Tech, a veteran, a Big 12 play, Tioka, to steer this team this year in the Big 12.
When I watched this guy on tape, he looks like Culpepper. Dante Culpepper. He is like a defensive end or tight end playing the quarterback position. He's a tough tackle, but he can throw it as well.
6'5", 241. Stephon Boogie Johnson was the motion man, and here comes Smith. Some people, a flag comes down. Some people say Cam Newton as well in terms of body type.
Well, Cam, I think, is a little more explosive. A runner when he was younger. Dante was a little more lumbering, you know, like Smith. And that was a real slick way to get to that quarterback draw as well. We'll talk about that pending this flag.
Number 2, offense. So take no penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay first down.
That's Matthew Golden, who we talked about off the top, the sophomore receiver from right here in Houston. As we talk about the recruiting that both these staffs have done, Dana Holgorsen, since word came out a couple of years ago that they were moving up to the Big 12, they've got 4 four-star recruits. 3 of them are skill position players on the offensive side, and Golden's one of them.
They've been waiting for about 30 years to get back to Power 5 football, so make no mistake, the recruiting arrow is pointing up for UH.
Smith, all kinds of time, able to find Samuel Brown, the West Virginia transfer. He's tackled across the 30-yard line. That's a 6-yard pickup.
Love the way Brown snatched that ball out of here. Beautiful plucking that ball in his hands.
Brown had a big opening week, 6 catches, 106 yards against UTSA, and he was really the go-to receiver in the first half for Smith. Other guys got more involved in the second half. Donovan Smith did not begin playing quarterback until his senior year at Friendship High School in Las Vegas. That's going to be first down yardage for the Cougars.
And when we talk to Dana Holgorsen about his offense, this is not the air raid that we've seen him in different places year past, West Virginia and other spots. This is a more physical offense. They want to be a little bit more balanced. They want to run the football. They want the quarterback running ability as well. And, of course, they can always throw. He can draw pass plays with the best of them, but I expect them to be more balanced as they get into this Big 12.
Smith has plenty of time, surveys the field, directs traffic, and now has to just try to get rid of it. It is intercepted.
Wow.
A diving pick by Treshawn DeVones.
Well, look, this is no shock that these Rice Owls get after the quarterback. They were a menace against Texas last week.
First down, Rice.
They had 3 sacks. But here's your nose tackle, Isaiah Floyd. Watch him come out late. First of all, the coverage is unbelievable. And here's your nose tackle getting a hit. And you got to be very careful late, throwing across like that. If you get hit, that ball's going to pop up. And nice job of running to the football and making a hands catch himself is Treshawn DeVones. But, man, it starts with these guys up front. They know how to rush the passer at Rice.
DeVones played well in game 1. A former walk-on has the interception. And all the spoils on the sideline.
Yeah, you see that cape? It had some fur on it.
100 degrees. I don't want a cape. I want an interception. I don't want a cape. Warm night. Fortunately for the players, the field is now obviously in the shade, but still warm and muggy here in Houston tonight.
Watch for a shot here.
Daniels dumps it off. And this is the speed guy out of the backfield. Dean Connors, a junior running back from Kamuela, Hawaii. At 6 feet 205, he's the real burner out of that backfield.
Yeah, he transferred from Riverside, California, junior college. But what I like here from JT, he wanted the deep shot. Often you see after sudden change, you see him try to take a deep shot, but he pulled off of that because of the pressure and found his check down. That's a smart quarterback.
Well, he's got a couple of really good tackles. We mentioned the left tackle, Clay Servin, one of the captains. The right tackle's pretty good as well. NFL scouts keeping an eye on 78. They protect nicely. First down strike thrown down near the 20-yard line to Braylon Walker.
Once again, I sound like a broken record, but watch JT pull off of his first and go to his second. Great job of instinctively stepping up into that pocket, finding the void. The rush is to his outside. He feels the void without looking at the rush. Steps up inside, finds a clean window to throw the ball, and it's accurate down in a way where only his guy Walker could catch it.
Big play capability out of the young man from Sulphur, Louisiana, out of Lake Charles College Prep. Braylon Walker's first down reception has Rice up 7-0, looking to add to it. Bowden Gruen, the tight end, goes to the slot to the top of your screen. Daniels, again, plenty of time, checks it down. Another big play to Connors inside the 10-yard line. It's going to be first and goal, Owls.
You can't overstate the check down like you call. So many quarterbacks on the college level are always big game hunting. But when you understand the entire route tree of every play, you know that check down more often than not is there when you manipulate the defense deep, and he continues to take what the defense is giving him. I'm just loving it because he's really confident and he's in rhythm.
Make no mistake, Daniels can sling it. He has thrown for over 400 yards in a game, 4 touchdowns against Mississippi State when he was a Georgia Bulldog. Here he hands it off. Ottaviano falls forward inside the 5-yard line.
How do you capitalize right now? If you're Marcus Tuiasosopo, how do you get this ball across the goal line? Because you cannot settle for field goals if you want to knock off this Cougar team. They're too good offensively. They score too many points. Every time you're inside the red zone, you've got to score a touchdown. You got to be thinking that way, but you can't abandon the run.
Now, they're still within the range of what Tuiasosopo said. They script out their first 20 plays of the game. They practice them 3 times in the week leading up. But when it's inside the 10-yard line, maybe you switch it up. Keep it on the ground, push forward inside to the 3, maybe the 2-yard line, but they practice it. They want to do those 20 plays, but that doesn't mean it's set in stone.
It's not. I mean, obviously the game is going to dictate, but he said he'd like to get through his 20. I'm thinking he's getting through the 20 because right now they're in great rhythm, and I like the ability to run the ball again. Not only does that show the defense a different look, but that clock is running. Doug, and again, we talked about possessing the football. This is what they like to do. Coach Bloomgren, this is a hallmark of his offense, keeping the ball away from the opponent.
Out of the I formation with the fullback in there, Garen Hargan to serve as the lead blocker. They're going to follow him, trying to leap over the middle and met at the apex. Ottaviano is pushed back by this University of Houston defense.
Well, look, going over the top is pretty for highlights and everything. But if you go over, you better go up over the defense, and that did not happen right there. That's a jump right into a defender. It was a big hit by Malik Robinson to meet the runner in the air. Man, that's nice.
Robinson, as well as Jalen Garner, the linebacker, number 36, elevated and met him midair. So that brings up 4th down and goal. Again, out of the I formation with 2 fullbacks in there. Micah Barnett also in. Going to try and pound it in straight ahead. Touchdown, Rice. Dalen Alexander, the freshman from Pflugerville, Texas, makes it 13-0 Owls.
First of all, I love the aggression. You got nothing else to lose. You're playing against your in-city rival that's just a mile and change away. This is great for recruiting. But look at the pounding. We're going to challenge you up front with a big offensive line. We've got a bunch of backs that run hard, and you only need 1.5 yards. I love the identity-setting drive that I saw there. I saw some physicality. I saw some great pass blocking by this offensive line. That's a terrific drive.
7-play, 39-yard drive. Chewed up just over 4 minutes, so they've possessed the football twice. 17 plays, and they have put up Now 14 points on the board.
We asked Coach Bloomgren, what's your identity? But they can't go 3 and out, Doug. They've got to find a way. And Dana Holgorsen talked about, yeah, we have a script, but it's only going to last about 2 plays until you get to 3rd down. Well, he's off the script. He's got to find first downs.
On 2nd and 10. Smith again off the hands of a receiver, and again it's Stephon Johnson, the sophomore from right here in Houston, with another pass he can't haul in.
Well, Donovan Smith has been true in the last 2, and Mr. Johnson has let him down a bit. I'd like to see them get to that quarterback run game. It's too late now. It's 3rd and 10, and you got to be careful with this rush. You better find a way to block all 4 of these rushers, and it may be 5 coming. They got a 3-man line. Will they add extra guys? I say no. You're probably going to have 3 rushing, 8 dropping. Let's see what happens.
Keep an eye on number 12 in blue, their 2-year co-captain Josh Piercy. Smith under duress, keeps the play alive. Still looking to throw, fires across the field, a dangerous pass again. It falls incomplete. And what you said, Ty, they couldn't afford to do 3 and out, and that's what they're doing here on their 2nd drive of the game.
Yeah, that's disastrous. And Brian Smith decided to bring pressure. He brought 5, and they got there. And to credit of Donovan Smith, he was able to get away, but he made a cardinal mistake that he's going to be able to get through. For some way, somehow that ball got on the ground, but throwing it back late across your body over the middle is a no-no, number 1. Be careful.
And Selene Wilkins comes back out. Last week averaged nearly 44 yards per punt. The junior from Perth, Australia, with a low spiral. Well covered. And I'll tell you what, Dana Holgorsen yesterday in our production meeting talked about that they are used to winning special teams. So maybe they've gotten off to a slow start in the other 2 phases. Maybe special teams picks them up.
Yeah, I think they won the game on special teams last week against UTSA. It was a very impressive performance. The drive start average of San Antonio was the 19-yard line. And conversely for UH, it was the 34. So when you have a drive start disadvantage that way, you're going to win the football game. And special teams will have an impact on today's game.
Running into the kicker. Receiving team. That pivot needs to decline. Down.
I like the
28 running into the kicker.
I like Coach Homer, go ahead and go ahead and decline that because there was no return, right? You got a really nice net out of that punt. No need to try to punt it again. It's usually a disadvantage for the coverage team.
Yeah, 44-yard punt, great coverage, and so they flip the field for Rice. And as you see, their methodical offense. FBS ranked 32nd in huddle percentage last week, just over 50%. And they are in command here tonight, up 14-0. JT Daniels back at quarterback for the Owls. And the running back is Dean Connors. Handed to Connors, makes a cut, finds a hole, breaks a tackle across the 40, across the 50, inside the 40, and finally chased out of bounds as the Owls continue to dominate.
That's good, tough running. And we knew Connors was a tough ball carrier, but I didn't know he had some jets. Breaking the tackle and bouncing this thing offside. Look at him turn that corner. That's moving now. The physicality of Rice right now is shocking the Cougar defense. And you got to tackle better than that. I mean, that's just the bottom line. You cannot miss tackles on this level of football and expect to get off the field defensively.
37 yards on the carry, far more than they gained for the entire game a week ago on the ground.
Well, this is more points than they scored a week ago. So right now, this is improvement either way.
Owls looking for their first win of the young season. That pass by Daniels was deflected. Boy, Nelson Caesar's gotten himself off to a terrific start to his junior season. Young man out of Bridgepoint High School, Missouri City, Texas. Potentially has an NFL future, but he is disruptive. He can get to the quarterback. He does a lot of things up front for U of H.
No question about it. 6'3", 250 pounds, and he's got some twitchiness to him, which means he can explode out of his stance and turn a corner. I like guys like that.
He had a big sack week 1 wearing those Houston Oilers baby blues. I love the look last week for the Cougs. Daniels down the left sideline into single coverage. A one-handed grab. Touchdown, Luke McCaffrey. Losing his helmet for the second time in 2 weeks on a touchdown.
Are you kidding me? Now, Daddy, I hope you're watching. I know you're watching. I'm not so sure you've done something like this. First of all, look at the route. Gets on top, steps on the toes, and runs by. The throw, almost perfect, but it takes a leaping, grabbing effort, and he's got suction cups for hands. What a beautiful effort by Luke McCaffrey.
Well, when you're the youngest of 4 boys, all 3 of them older than you have played big-time D1 college football, very accomplished. You got to come up with something yourself.
That's right. Set yourself apart. That catch right there did just that. He's done it all his career. I mean, he's a heck of a player, but look at this. Are you kidding me? With a DB all over him. My goodness.
That was Brian George, the senior nickelback. Texas A&M transfer in coverage, and McCaffrey was undaunted.
And I know they're looking at this play to see if he controlled it, but I saw no evidence that that ball touched the ground. I mean, he put his hand under it and brought it in.
Well, his oldest brother, Max, was a wide receiver at Duke. We've talked about Christian, the Stanford All-American. I don't know what's become of him since.
Yeah, he's all right.
And then his next oldest brother, Dylan, was a quarterback at Michigan and Northern Colorado. And so baby brother helps to give the Rice Owls a 21-0 lead on a SportsCenter worthy touchdown reception.
Yeah, you've got man coverage. You're going to take the shot with number 10, no question about it. I like him against anybody because he's going to give you everything he's got on every single throw. Helmet comes off, but it came off through the play. No flag. Celebrate, Mr. McCaffrey. That was an effort that you won't soon forget. Wow, that's special. And I like the shot, too. You know you got man coverage. You're up 14. Go ahead and take your shot, right? We talked about they have to score touchdowns against this Cougar offense who will come back. But that's just straight speed and effort. He did not blow by the corner. So that, how about the dime, though? Right? The dime throw from JT Daniels put that ball exactly where it needed to be, right in the bucket. And the bucket was the hand of number 10.
JT Daniels has been accurate, on time, on target so far tonight. He has 2 touchdown passes, both to that man, Luke McCaffrey. And the Owls in their home opener here at Rice Stadium up 21-0. Again, a hope that Houston's special teams can get something going, but not there. Tonight, that hook on JT Daniels to Luke McCaffrey. Those are the 2 guys the Houston defensive coordinator said we got to focus on.
Yeah, and it starts with JT. When he's on top of his game, he's going to put the ball where it needs to be. You've already seen it. And McCaffrey, he's a playmaker. He was born to be the playmaker. He's got unbelievable football character. He's been raised in it. And how about Coach Bloomgren? I mean, what a riches of McCaffrey. He coached his brother, his older brother at Stanford, Christian, and now he's got the younger McCaffrey who's just as great a baller.
One chunk yardage play on offense after another for Rice. The 32-yard touchdown pass from Daniels to McCaffrey makes it 21-0. How do the Cougars answer?
They got to run the ball. Excuse me. They got to run this football.
Well, they pass on first down, and it's dropped after the play was blown up. Golden and Manjack were out there too close to each other, and one defender took care of both of them.
Well, and it was physical at the point of attack, fighting off the blocker. Watch number 1. Dipping underneath. That's great technique right there by Fresh. Dip underneath the block and make a play on the ball carrier and get the ball on the ground. But again, I think Houston's got to run the football, and I think they should run it with their quarterback, Donovan Smith, because it's their form with a light box that they're seeing every single play.
Well, he was their leading rusher in week 1, but that's not what they want from an empty backfield. He's got a pass completion to the USC transfer, Joseph Manjack IV.
So now it's 3rd down, and you're going to be staring at another 3 and out if you don't pick this up. The good news is it's 3rd and manageable, just over 4 yards to get it. What do you dial up, though? What do you dial up to get this 1st down? Because Dana knows it's critical even this early to keep this football.
Quick strike left side. with the reach that might have been enough for a first down by Samuel Brown. Indeed, it is a first down to move the chains for U of H.
Yeah, that's smart. You're running the slant at the sticks. He understood that he got contacted early. As soon as he caught it, reach out and get the first down. Good football play.
Now a little tempo. Final 2 minutes of the first quarter. University of Houston trying to make something happen. And here goes Stacy Snead, who's got a little wiggle to him. Good pickup on first down. It's a gain of 8.
I think this is the key here. You've got to run the football and stay balanced. You can't allow this Owl defensive line to tee off. Let's sprinkle in some run game because you've got some backs that can turn a corner. Nice job by Snead.
As a freshman a year ago, over 500 yards rushing. Top Cougars back. On the screen pass, Samuel Brown again on the receiving end, and it's another Cougars first down.
And so the cool thing about that smoke route there, just throwing that ball out, that's as good as a run. In fact, if it's thrown behind the line of scrimmage, which that was, it's going to be a run. And so that's basically a perimeter run right there. Just something really easy to get your quarterback in rhythm, but also to pick up easy first downs.
Clock runs at 1:15 of the first quarter. Donovan Smith, the 6'5", 241-pound junior quarterback. Snead met at the 35-yard line. He breaks away from the first hit. But I tell you what, Chris Conti, the Mike linebacker from New Jersey, blew that play up.
Well, it's man coverage. And so where the back goes, I'm going. Look at Conti. He's all over it. Nice job of coming up and making a hit. Misses it, but here comes the cavalry. I love the way Rice is running to the football. Nice cleanup play there by Green.
Loss of 7 on the play. Tell you what, Rice with DeVones making the play came here to play tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you could just tell from the body language and the effort. I talked to you about how this coaching staff was confident. You could feel it in the room when we were talking to them. And I understand why now. They had a great week of practice. They love their plan. And right now it's being executed right before our eyes. And the guys are playing fast.
On 3rd down and long. The running back is Tony Mathis Jr., one of 4 former West Virginia Mountaineers on the Cougars roster. Smith. Nailed by number 44 in blue, and he goes down. Coleman Coco, the Colgate grad transfer, who his coaches say is a tough guy and a little crazy, but in a good way.
Yeah, you like the defensive lineman to be crazy. I know that for a fact. This time they show pressure and drop.
Top of Rice Stadium, we can actually see the University of Houston campus. They say as the crow flies, it's less than 2 miles away. It would take you 4.5 miles to drive it, but Georgia State, Georgia Tech, and the city of Atlanta are close, and then, of course, Eastern Michigan and Michigan. Duke and Carolina on the basketball side, everybody talks about the proximity of that rivalry, but this is very real here in the city of Houston.
If I told you I jogged it, would you believe me?
No.
Good. You're a smart man. I did not jog it. I drove it, and it was really quick.
Yeah, so from that angle, you are looking at the University of Houston off in the distance. If you looked at about the 40 or 45-yard line to the left side of the field and look straight across, it's only about 2 miles to the University of Houston campus. 68-yard punt has Rice backed up, pass deflected, and Daniels got lucky there that it wasn't picked off. A.J. Halsey, the free safety out of Fort Bend Marshall High School, nearly came up with a pick.
Well, that's one of those deals. If you can't get there, get your hands up.
Well, here's the drive.
No, that's me jogging.
Schools. That's you jogging. Oh, we put like a GoPro on your head?
Yeah, although you see the front of the car right there, I guess.
Oh, the lens would be fogging up. You'd be stopping to eat everywhere. There's no way. And it's 100 degrees. You're not making that time. That's a great ride right there.
Yeah, it was.
To go from the University of Houston to Rice, a couple of old Southwest Conference rivals getting together again for the Bayou Bucket. Owls on the move again, and this time Daniels on target to Giovanni Johnson-McCray, the redshirt junior from Conway, Arkansas.
This is the former 5-star Gatorade Player of the Year. Look at the cool confidence. You see him, again, look off the defense. Starts one way, come back. You can't do that, though, without unbelievable protection. And here's the ISO on the routes. It was not their front side. He came backside because he understands the offense. He hasn't even been here very long. But that speaks to the intelligence and the diligence of JT Daniels.
And Johnson McCray is another converted quarterback with a great frame, much like Luke McCaffrey. Johnson McCray, 6'4", 204, another target for Daniels, who throws it down the middle, but just out of the reach of the intended receiver. It falls incomplete. McCaffrey couldn't quite get there.
Yeah, that's great coverage by Alex Holden. He was on the outside, but he was tight. And oftentimes, your body position as a defender is going to force perfection from the throw. And that's one of the few times today JT wasn't perfect, and that's why you had the incomplete pass. Now, if you're the Cougar defense, you've got to capitalize on that. You've got to keep it 2nd and long to 3rd and long so you have a chance to get off this field, because they need to get off the field. The plays are mounting for the guys in white.
And the guys up front have done a nice job so far. Ethan Onyanwa, we mentioned him as a NFL prospect at right tackle, number 78. Nelson Caesar making the play for Houston.
And how did he make it? He got up the field with penetration, as you see the flag coming out.
Line of scrimmage.
That's an illegal procedure. I don't think they had enough men on the line of scrimmage. You probably had a bad formation situation or an offensive lineman in the backfield who was supposed to be on the line.
And there's some of the big boys up front. 73, Lavelle Dumont, the right guard. Braden Nutter is the center. Brant Banks is the left guard. And then the tackles are the two highlights on that front line for the Owls.
Critical right now. If you're the Cougar defense, you've got to get pressure, get up the field, and bother JT Daniels, because he's too comfortable right now in the pocket. He's carving you up.
On 3rd down and long, can the Houston defense get off the field? Pass complete. McCaffrey makes a man miss. It's another Rice first down.
Looking like Big Brother right there now. Looked exactly like Christian. Just a simple out pattern. Well, it's a hook. Ball's on time, and then look at the ability to make the defender miss. You draw it up on the whiteboard. If you're the Cougar defense, say, yep, he's got him, no play. Well, the him is him.
17 yards on the pickup for him, Luke McCaffrey. Daniel steps into the pass. Contact, and the flag comes.
Ooh. Boy.
Kobe Campbell was step for step with A.J. Halsey, who is likely going to get called here for pass interference.
Looking forward to a replay, because all I saw was incidental, partner. And my goodness, he's in good position. I just saw feet get tangled up. Now maybe I missed something.
Pass interference, number 24, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So let's take a look at this one. I'm curious. Playing outside in, gets his hand, you're fine near. Now it's just turning and running. I mean, look, to me, that's not enough. Did he touch him technically down the field past 5? Sure, he touched him. But if you're going to throw a flag on that, it should be a flag thrown on almost every pass play today. Yeah, I'm with you, Halsey. I would be a little upset about that one myself.
Yeah, the New Mexico transfer feeling the same way. He's one of the burners on the back end. He ran 22 miles an hour this past summer on the GPS.
Wow.
Houston's defense up for the challenge. Trying to do a little trickeration to Dean Connors, but the junior from Hawaii loses ground on that play.
Yeah, Cedric Williams got up the field with quick pressure. And when your defensive tackle can get up the field on a stunt and get in the backfield, whether he makes the play or not, it's going to set it up and make it possible for other people. But, man, that penetration shut that play down at the get-go.
And, again, Houston's playing without a couple of its big interior defensive linemen because of injuries. Chidozie Nwankwa and Jamari Caldwell. Other guys trying to step up. 2nd and 15. Daniels over the middle again. A wide-open tight end, Bowden Gruen. He was his favorite target at Texas last week with 4 catches. That's his first here tonight.
And look, Jack Bradley is their star tight end, but they've got multiple guys, as you see. Look at the pocket again. Look how calm and cool. No pressure whatsoever. You've got the tight end on the crossing route, intermediate crossing, wide open, easy completion.
22 yards on the pickup. There you see Gruen had only 4 receptions a year ago. He's already got 5 and counting here in week 2. And for the second time here tonight, a double-digit drive. This is the 10th play of this possession for Rice, and there will be an 11th on the completion to Kobe Campbell.
Wow. Look, this is the first time I've seen JT Daniels, but I'm watching a guy that looks like an NFL quarterback to me. And it's a great job of coming back to the football. Watch him come back. Beautiful work back. Don't wait on the ball. Work back towards it. Give your quarterback a target. Open receiver. JT's going to hit him.
Another 17-yard gain. Juma Otoviano is the running back alongside JT Daniels. Connors tries to get the reverse, and he does to Campbell. But the Houston defense swarms all over him for another negative play. Isaiah Hamilton helping to push Rice back.
And that's how you're supposed to support if you're a corner. You got pass responsibilities first. But that's a good job of reading. They were playing zone coverage, and your eyes are looking forward. He comes up and makes a nice play in the backfield.
Now McCaffrey has come out of the ball game for Rice. On 2nd and 15. Up the gut, Otoviano, the 6th-year Owl who appeared in 4 games all the way back in 2018 as a true freshman. And that was the first year of head coach Mike Bloomgren and his staff. They had to play over 20 true freshmen that year. Wow. He still got a handful of them around 6 years later. Well,
I mean, that's on-the-job training that pays dividends down the road. And so this is where you want to see those dividends being paid. But if I'm Doug Belk, the Houston Cougar defensive coordinator, I'm trying to figure out, how do I hold this to a field goal attempt? You got to do it. You got to find a way. Do I dial up pressure? Am I playing base defense? It's going to be very interesting, because we've seen if you sit back and let JT Daniels be comfortable, he's going to find someone.
Rice calls timeout after McCaffrey had come back into the game before this 3rd down and 14.
Timeout, Rice. Their second of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
Again, JT Daniels was number 64 in the 2018 ESPN 300. Everybody knew him. He went to USC, was a starter from day one, got an injury his sophomore year that ended that year. He wound up transferring to Athens, Georgia. Started 7 games over 2 years for the Bulldogs, went 7-0. Last year at West Virginia, not so good, so he comes here for what is presumably his final year of college football. And you said it, he has looked like, once again, here tonight at least, so far, a guy who was so highly thought of coming out of Southern California.
Well, I think what you're seeing is all of that past experience, the ups and the downs, is starting to solidify for a young man. The game has slowed down for him. He's healthy, which was an issue in his past as well. He feels really confident because this Rice program says, you're the guy. You're the guy today. You got here. We're going to support you, and we're going to build around you. And I think that instills the ability to go out and play free. And you're seeing that right now.
Triple receivers to the bottom of your screen. Daniels rolling left, throws to the end zone with an open man, touchdown. Rice takes a 27-0 lead on the 3rd touchdown pass of the night from J.T. Daniels.
Well, Doug, as a pass rusher, you've got decisions to make. And I watched Nelson Caesar decide to take an inside rush without someone covering it outside. And we talked about J.T. Daniels is not a runner, but he's instinctual in the pocket. He can feel the rush and slide. Watch number 9 on your right screen. Come inside. No, see, that's not going to work. Not against a cool customer like this. He's going to feel that void to his left, slide out, buy time, and throw accurately on the run. Beautiful execution by J.T. Daniels.
Braylon Walker on the receiving end. And so the PAT crew back out there. Tim Horn, the redshirt junior from Honolulu, out of Punahou High School. Former Washington Cougar with the opportunity. And he do it on that return. Peyton Sawyer. And now I've got time to tell you about the NFL Plus, bringing you live games on mobile, NFL Red Zone, NFL Network, game replays, and more. All in one place. Sign up today at plus.nfl.com. Terms and conditions apply.
You know, shout out to NFL for giving all retired players a free NFL Plus. I'm so glad I got it. Man, the information I can get, whether that's about the real games or the fantasy, I'm putting it to work, man. I mean, because I've been getting worked in fantasy for the last few years. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Well, it's a whole different world than when you were playing in the NFL.
No question about that.
My goodness. All right, we've said it after falling behind 14-0, after 21-0, after 28-0. How does Houston get back in it? You've been saying run the football. And so Parker Jenkins, the freshman out of Klein Forest High School in Houston, a four-star recruit with great speed with a big run on first down.
Dougie, it doesn't have to be complicated. You're seeing a light box on every single play. There's an answer for that. It's running the football.
22-yard gain for number 23 in white. Now they go back to the air. And it looks like they're going to give Matthew Golden a completion. And that'll pick up 4 yards on the pass from Donovan Smith.
And speaking of Donovan Smith, I want to see him get involved in the running game. I saw that quarterback draw with a lead blocker early in the first quarter that went for at least 8 yards. Get back to that. Light boxes, they can't handle the quarterback run game.
Ruling on the field is a completed pass. That play is under further review.
So they're going to take another look. Donovan Smith, as mentioned, began his college career at Texas Tech, where his father, DeAndre, was an assistant coach. He's now with the Indianapolis Colts, and so here is his pass completion, or is it?
Well, the first thing you got to think of is the call on the field was a completed pass. So you have to see irrefutable evidence that the call on the field was wrong, and I think I saw a ball roll out of a left hand onto the ground. It's initially his left hand's underneath, but watch the ball roll forward now. Now it's on the ground. And now if you have full control of it, it's fine if it touches the ground. I think he lost control. Now, again, it's a judgment call. Watch the look here. Initially, his left hand is going to be underneath the ball, between the ball and the ground, but then it rolls out. See that, Doug? I think that is an incomplete pass. I think it'll be 2nd and 10.
And that might have been because of the left hand of Sean Fresh, the defensive back, coming in there and knocking that hand of the receiver out from underneath the ball.
Excellent point, and you hear me say it all the time. For DBs, the play is not over until the ball's on the ground and the whistle's blown. And you fight through with physical hands at the catch point. And that's exactly what you saw right there.
But is it indisputable video evidence?
To me, it is. To me, I saw that ball roll off the left hand. And to your point, it was right after the physical hand of the DB comes in between his. So there you're good. Now, see that right there? I think it rolls out of his control. He brings his right hand back to try to pull it in and make the official believe he never lost control. See, at that point, that left hand is no longer on the ball. Now the right hand is pulling it back in. But again, it's a judgment call. It's not an easy call. And so you have to know that you're right and know you're no to reverse it. That's enough for me. We'll see if it's enough for the official. It's a great job by the guys in the truck to get that review and show us that many angles. Great job by the cameramen and camera women to zero in on that and make that easy.
So take the 4-yard completion off the board. That brings up 2nd down and 10.
I still think the run game is available to you. Let's make this 3rd and short or 3rd and manageable by running the football, especially with the quarterback involved.
It also makes me wonder if Dana Holgorsen goes back to his roots and employs a little more of the air raid. There's Smith on the keeper. You know, he came out, he played college football as a wide receiver at Iowa Wesleyan back in the late 80s and early 90s for Hal Mumme and Mike Leach when they were developing the air raid, and that's been his identity as a head coach in West Virginia here at Houston. Do you go back to that when you're down 28-0?
I think that would be a mistake because the play count for his defense is mounting. He's got to protect him for the second half. And so running the football and possessing it yourself will do that. And he sees that it's no more than a 6-man box almost on every single play. You can run against that. Got positive yards there, 3rd and manageable.
This is Houston's first play from Rice territory tonight. Smith uses a stiff arm to get to the 45-yard line where he's finally knocked out of bounds. That'll bring up a manageable 4th down.
And I think you got to go. And I'm not saying that Dana's listening to me, but again, that quarterback run, he's seeing what I'm seeing. Now what do you do here? because it's fourth and manageable, the entire playbook is open to you. You've got a quarterback who can be physical and run the ball to get yourself two, but you also got the quick game on the slants.
4th down and 2. The freshman, Parker Jenkins, in at running back. Smith to throw on 4th down. Over the middle, it's caught. Beautifully done to elevate, use both hands, and Samuel Brown moves the chain.
Now, Samuel Brown showed me something there. You've got to have some heart on 4th down to go across the middle, knowing you're going to get hit and squeeze that football. And what a good hit that really was. But, man, to hold on to that football, that's excellent job.
Incomplete on the shot to the end zone. I like the confidence in Donovan Smith to go back to Samuel Brown. You remember what happened early in the football game, back-to-back drops. Or no, you're right. It was Stephon Johnson. So I've not seen him. But either way, you've got to keep these guys up, and you're the leader, you're the quarterback. You've got to keep your teammates up.
And how about Holgorsen putting the ball in Smith's hands on 4th when you really need it? That shows the confidence in your trigger guy.
Give to Jenkins, tries to bounce it outside, but it's read beautifully for no gain. Coming up to make the play, Sean Fresh. No, check that. It's Chike Anabogu, the redshirt senior from Missouri City, Texas. Special teams captain, a recruited walk-on who's playing a bigger role on the defensive side of things this year.
Need some protection. You better block this front and see who's coming. Smith's changing the play.
On 3rd and 10. The Rice defense was waiting for it, and that is Fresh, who defended it beautifully.
Yeah, I think they fooled Donovan Smith on that one. I think Smith thought he was going to get heated up with some blitzing there. And that's a great call by Brian Smith, because that play is a man beater. You run that particular play, that wide receiver screen and get zone, it's a no play, because all the defenders are watching the ball being thrown and rallying up.
They converted on 4th down moments ago. Smith again. Incomplete with a flag coming in. The pass was deflected as it was intended for Joseph Manjack into double coverage, but we'll see what the penalty is if it keeps the drive alive for Houston.
I think Sean Fresh might have grabbed a jersey.
Pass interference, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Indeed it is. The fastest man on this Rice defense, Sean Fresh, called for PI.
Well, he got beat inside right off the bat. And see the pulling?
Automatic first down.
Yeah, that's an easy call. And Burns. That's illegal. Officials miss it. So they get reset to do it right. And then they're doing it again. And second time's a charm. The official sees it, throws a flag. That's a no-no. You can't have two men in motion at the same time.
But they got the timeout called before the flag was thrown, so it's 1st and 10, and now only one man in motion. A well-operated, just not executed all that well. For Houston, they gained 2 on the short run by Stacey Sneed.
And look, you say that's a nothing run. Well, no, I'm saying that's smart by Daniel Holgorsen to just show the defense a different look. That's going to set up the play action in the second half, set up the downfield throws, but you got to run the football against this light box.
Smith off the play fake. Rolling left. A flag comes behind the play as Smith gets out of bounds. Dragged out at about the 10-yard line by the Will linebacker, Myron Morrison.
Yeah, I think that's going to be holding, partner. I think Tyler Johnson pulled a guy down, a defender, as he was trying to disengage.
Well, Tyler Johnson is the left guard.
And discussion is on. Long discussion. It might be something other than holding. I think you're going to have 2 penalties offset.
There are multiple fouls on both teams on the play. offense. Unsportsmanlike foul, number 1, offense. Unsportsmanlike foul, number 2, defense. 1, defense, 2, offense. All of those fouls will offset. Replay second down. This is number 1 and 2's first foul that counts towards disqualification.
So it's Sean Fresh, the defensive back for Rice, and Matthew Golden you see engaging. It's been a quiet first half for Golden, much like it was last week before he got much more involved in the offense in the second half.
Yeah, ended up with 36 yards, 4 catches, 36 yards, and a touchdown. But he's their guy, and they got to find a way to get him loose because he's an excellent football player.
10th play of the drive, 2nd down and 9. First trip to the red zone tonight for Houston. First time into Rice territory, as a matter of fact. Smith gives to the back, keeps the play alive, keeps those feet moving, gets inside the 10-yard line. Gain of about 4. On the run for Stacy Sneed, the sophomore from Arlington, Texas.
And it was critical to get that forward. Now you're 3rd and 5. And I'm looking for stick routes from my receivers. You got trips to the right. And we talked about how good and talented this receiving core is. Has been an uneven day for him. He had some drop passes. But at this point now, you need some execution, and you need a really good decision from Donovan Smith.
Yeah, the trips are Manjack, Golden, and Brown, their top 3 receivers in that order. And looking that way into the end zone, got his man, and on cue, it's a touchdown for Houston to Matthew Golden.
What a throw. I mean, you're talking about throwing through windows with other colored jerseys in the vicinity. Doesn't get any better. You were the quarterback here at home, folks. Look at that throw. Wow. Now, the question is, did he have control of that ball? Because he kind of double caught it. Nice job of stemming outside, coming right back in. Woo, that's close. Man, you don't want the double catch from your receivers, and you just saw why.
Well, we said off the top, he was irritated about how things went last week, and he did have a tie, a big 2 minutes and 42 seconds here for Houston.
Undoubtedly. We talked about the blueprint for an upset. Rice has done that. Here's a blueprint for the comeback. I'll talk about after they kick.
And it will be returned. Fresh out across the 25-yard line. Well, the defense has to step up. Noah Guzman, another one of those West Virginia transfers, makes a play.
Yeah, Guzman got out of that back pedal and drove on that ball.
There you see, 4 times they have possessed the football, 4 times the drives have wound up in the end zone, including a couple of touchdown passes from Daniels to McCaffrey. Daniels has 3 touchdown passes. And the Rice defense didn't allow Houston's offense to get on the board until just a couple of minutes ago.
Quick game here, alert, empty, quick game.
Daniels, pressure from behind, and he goes down. Ball comes loose, but he was down. And once again, it's Nelson Caesar, who just has gotten off to a marvelous start to his junior campaign.
We talked about Caesar going underneath and blowing that rush. This time he goes around the corner. See him try to tomahawk that ball? That's great job there, physicality at the tackle point to get that ball out.
This is their second of the half. Please put 2:21 on the game clock.
Well, he had 4 sacks a year ago. He had a big sack last week against UTSA, again making havoc with tackles for loss here tonight. And he's a guy who the coaching staff told you when you asked him in our production meeting, who'd you want in your foxhole with you?
Yeah.
It was Caesar.
They say he's a tough guy. And I love that as a defensive lineman. You got to be. They're all tough playing D-line on both sides of the ball. But they say this guy will fight you legally in the game. And I love that.
Well, in the game last year against Rice, he had an 11-yard scoop and score. He's a guy who NFL scouts are aware of, and he's another project that has turned himself from, you know, he was a high 3-star recruit. He was a good recruit for this program, but he has gotten better and better each year.
And you see that C on his shoulder. He's a captain for a reason. Another guy that leads by example. But this is the situation right here, if you're Houston, that you can really capitalize. Because if you can get off the field here with a turnover or a 4th down, you get the ball back, have a chance to score, and then Houston gets the ball to open up the second half. The anatomy of a comeback is starting to become clear to us all.
They're down 18 yards to go for Daniels. Fires a bullet First down yardage and more on a beautifully thrown football. Giovanni Johnson-McCray.
What a throw. Look at that. That's got some heat on it now. You got an underneath defender and an over-the-top guy. If you're off placement, that ball's tipped and or intercepted. Beautiful job there of getting that ball where it needed to be. Excellent hands catch. First down, Rice.
16-yard pickup by the converted quarterback. Daniels throws it again and again has positive yardage. Fighting for more. How about the center, Braden Nutter, coming in to fly in and try and get a couple of more yards there.
Keep your eyes on the swivel. You got offensive linemen looking for work. You love to see it. Nice job by Nutter, but what I'm also seeing from JT Daniels, the subtleties. He drove that ball in on the prior play on the dig route. This time he takes a little bit off of it because he doesn't try to get an incompletion by just throwing off his arm string. Doing what it takes at that play at that moment to get the completion. I love it.
I thought it was great. You asked the coaches, what about his confidence? You know, with all of the change, this being his fourth school, and he was under constant pressure last week against the Texas defense. He has had less pressure by far, and he has looked very good here tonight. Another little pitch and catch to the 40-yard line, and the Owls keep moving the football. This time it's the tight end, Bowden Gruen.
And, you know, they said we couldn't even evaluate JT Daniels in that first play because he never had a chance. We couldn't get in a rhythm because that front from Texas was so dominant. Well, now we're seeing what kind of quarterback he is when he has time.
After a gain of 6, there's another first down pass and more for the Rice Owls. Daniels to the freshman, Braylon Walker one more time.
Love the route from Walker, just a slant, but it's the way he runs it. He's getting separation when he plants that foot and digs inside. Makes it an easy throw for number 18.
18 more yards for number 18. He just slings it. Complete, and Connors breaks free. Spins away inside the 10.
Is that JT Mahomes or JT Daniels? You tell me.
Composure, calm, confident.
That's it right there. Watch him step up. Feel it. Doesn't look like the rush. Shovel that ball away. Slick, right?
Before the snap, timeout, Houston. It's their final timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Well, you said this was a big final 2.5 minutes for Houston. And so far, Rice has said, no. We plan on scoring on every single drive this half.
Yeah. And right now they got a hot quarterback. And if you remember, how did they start off the game? They started off with an easy wide receiver screen to get JT Daniels settled and confident. And they've gone off to the races ever since. And I've seen maybe 2 balls that were off target in terms of the throw. Everything else has been pinpoint, and it's really beautiful to watch. And I don't even like quarterbacks, but I can't help but love what I'm seeing right now.
Who do you dislike more, quarterbacks, kickers, or play-by-play guys?
Oh, stop it. I love you, Doug. Are you kidding me? The way you set me up, man.
Coming up at the half, NFL Fantasy Live is back. Time to take stock of what to expect in Week 1. NFL regular season. It's underway tomorrow. I also hear that you aren't especially fond of the guys in the truck either. You know, producers, directors, stats, replay. I don't know. That's just what I hear.
That's just rumor. Never pay attention to rumor and innuendo.
Boy, Daniels, what a first half. 18 for 24, 290 yards, 3 touchdowns. Trying for his 4th. No, incomplete. Trying to squeeze it in there, but unable to add to his total.
How about the poise? I mean, there's a lot going on around him. It's chaotic in that pocket at times. Houston has been able to get some rush, but man, he is staying calm. His feet are not happy. They're underneath him, and his accuracy is off the charts.
He tried to find Quentin Jackson, a running back, on that last play. Clock is stopped at 21 seconds. Now Houston's defense making wholesale changes. The officials allow for them to, and allow to get set. Daniels on the RPO. Incomplete, trying to sneak that one into Luke McCaffrey.
Nice breakup by Alex Holden. He's in the trail position, but he reaches out and knocks that ball away at the last moment. McCaffrey continues to get free, but the window for the completion was really, really tight. But Alex broke it up.
McNeil comes back in at receiver along with Walker. And that again triggers more changes for Houston with 3rd down and goal from the 9-yard line.
I may be stating the obvious, but this is a huge play to me in this ball game. You got to keep Rice out of the end zone if you're Houston.
Daniels trying to get into the end zone, throws that way, and it is intercepted. Indeed it is. Picked off in the end zone by Isaiah Hamilton. A huge play for the Cougars to stop Rice from scoring again.
Take this play and send it around America and say, this is how you play man coverage in a jump ball one-on-one situation. You're in great position, you turn at the right time, and you catch the football. It is not written in stone that DBs have to break it up and knock the ball down. Beautiful job of turning your hips, you're inside out, the ball has to come through you, and you catch the football. Isaiah Hamilton with the biggest play defensively of the game.
Last year at Texas Southern, Hamilton had 5 interceptions, 2 were pick sixes. His first interception for Houston will give the Cougars a little more life heading into the halftime locker room.
And we said they had to find a way to keep Rice out of the end zone. Well, not only did they do that, they found a way to keep them from kicking a field goal as well. And now, if you're Houston, the offense, you've got to step up and do your part. When you get this football in the second half, you got to do something with it.
The Bayou Bucket is on.
Yeah, probably the best pure running back in the National Football League. That's a good guy to have your friend if you're back.
Last year, West Virginia, as Mathis runs again. He started 10 games for the Mountaineers and actually was 7th in the Big 12 Conference and nearly 60 yards rushing per game. So he was another target of Dana Holgorsen, along with Donovan Smith, getting guys to transfer in who had experience in the Big 12.
I like how Dana Holgorsen is starting this second half. 2 straight runs to get you to 3rd and manage where you can call whatever you want on 3rd down.
3rd and a long one, going to run it again, going to get themselves a 1st down. And, well, you talk about momentum. It's really hard to quantify. You don't know when you got it, when it goes away. It can come and go so quickly, but it does feel like the momentum changed late in that first half, and Houston comes out of the locker room feeling pretty good.
Momentum is fleeting, Doug, but execution is forever. And so if you can come out and execute the way your opponent did in the first half, you've got a chance to come back and have a good opportunity to win the football game.
And you have been preaching all night long, Houston needs to keep running the football. They do to begin this 3rd quarter with Mathis. Now they're going to go to the air. Smith gives it to Mathis. This will work essentially like a run with their running back making people miss out to the 33-yard line.
So what does running do for your offense? Keeps you on schedule, but it also slows down that defensive line. Look at the amount of time. That's about as much time as he's had all day. Nice cut there, putting that outside foot in the ground, cutting back to get yourself extra yardage.
Made Chris Conti miss, able to pick up another 3 yards, so it's 2nd down and 5. Smith rolling. Now he's going to tuck it and run with a lot of room in front of him. Tiptoes out of bounds near midfield. They'll mark him out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
Well, Jonathan James saved something there. And this is what Smith brings to your offense. He's dynamic. He has a good arm. He can throw the football. But, boy, when the play breaks down, it's just getting started. This is a 2nd play for UH. He's that tremendous running the football, especially when he's got room because of the coverage downfield.
After having not gotten into Rice territory the entire first half, they finally did their final drive of the 2nd quarter. Now, in the blink of an eye, they're back in Owls territory to start the 3rd quarter.
And it's the run game that's making a difference, the balance of this offense.
After a 22-yard run, Smith fakes the handoff, now fires on the move, got himself another 1st down, and then some. The receiver, Brown, breaks away for a couple of more yards down to the 32-yard line.
Nice effort by Brown. That's how you play. That's how you come back. It needs extra effort. You don't have to be extraordinary, but the extra effort plays are going to be there if you play hard enough. Spin out of that first one. Looking for more yardage. I need to help my team. Ball security first. Nice job, number 4.
Brown, Golden, and Manjack, the big 3 wide receivers for the University of Houston. Back to the ground. This time it's the true freshman Parker Jenkins a four-star who made official visits to Houston, Northwestern, Boston College, and Oklahoma State, also offered by LSU, Tennessee, Penn State, Oregon. He's another one of these up recruits that Coach Holgorsen and his staff are able to get now that they're in the Big 12 Conference. Now the 8th play of this drive. Smith throws. Complete at the 20-yard line. It's another first down. Forward progress will be marked to the 20-yard line for Golden.
I'm seeing Donovan Smith starting to settle down. He recognized the pressure. That ball left his hands before the receiver made the break. And when that happens, you're knowing that your quarterback is dialed in. The confidence is on the upswing. It's a really good opening drive for Houston.
On first down, Smith gives to the freshman. Has a little hole, keeps those feet moving, able to get a couple of yards, does Parker Jenkins.
Got to give a lot of credit to Dana Holgorsen. If you're the head coach and the offensive coordinator, there's nobody on the sidelines that can say, hey, run the ball. No, you've got to see it yourself. And so what you're seeing is in-game adjustments. He adjusted in the second quarter. He went in the second half, talked about it with his staff, and came out and is establishing his run game. Again, we talked about what it does for you. Keeps you on schedule and slows that rush down.
The 52-year-old native of Mount Pleasant, Iowa, in his 5th year as head coach at Houston. Flag is down.
Free play.
Smith going to be marked down at about the 19, and let's see what the marker is all about.
Now, they didn't blow it dead, which is interesting. Usually means offsides, but the signal said false start.
Illegal formation. Number 74 was lined up in the backfield. The offense. That penalty's declined. Third down.
Ruben Unije, the right tackle, called for the infraction.
You can't be too deep if you're on the end line of the offensive line, and you see 74. He's got to break. His helmet's got to break the waistline of number 72, his guard on the inside, Jenkins. He's sitting back too far. That gives him an advantage in the pass blocking. That's a no-no.
What do they dial up here on 3rd down and 9?
Well, whatever they dial up is better starts with protection, because this front is coming.
Smith goes down but gets rid of the football and completes the pass inside the 10. It's marked right at the 10. And it is a first down for Houston.
How about the strength of Donovan Smith? He's going to have a rusher at his legs, and he's able to throw an accurate ball. So often when you get hit lower body, that ball's on the ground incomplete.
Joshua Cobbs, just enough yardage for a first down. It is 1st and goal right at the 10.
Give credit to Cobbs for running that crossing route at the sticks. So often you see guys not running it deep enough to get the first.
Fake the handoff to Snead. On the receiver screen, Matthew Golden looked like that could have gone for potentially a touchdown, but he lost his footing.
Well, he lost his footing because he saw big number 45, Demone Green, coming. That'll make you lose your footing. Watch your footing. He's fine. Oh, let me get down. Let me try to get down. And I don't blame him. 6'1", 299 pounds. I guarantee you he's over that 300 mark. Listen, I'm not saying you don't have courage, number 2, Golden, but that was a smart slip. Let's say it that way.
So 2nd and goal from the 11 after a 1-yard loss. Smith throws a strike over the middle, incomplete. Play Wyatt, the Viper, a move around guy on defense, in on coverage to knock that pass away.
Well, he had a wide open Stacy Snead in the flat. He was all by himself. He probably scores if he's able to read it out. We talked about how smart JT Daniels has been hitting his checkdowns. And I'm not saying that that wasn't a smart play, because there was a window. But if Donovan Smith can see the tight coverage and realize he doesn't have to try to fit it, but I understood what he saw there. He saw a breaking receiver open just for a hair.
A 15-play drive. Here is Smith under fire. Keeps the play alive. Going to get knocked out of bounds. Well short of the goal line. Good pursuit by Coleman Coco.
So right now, if you're Houston, you're trying to decide, what do you do? Do you go for it? Do you line up for the kick? I say you go, and looks like Dana's saying the same thing.
You have to get to the end zone if you're Houston here from 8 yards away.
How do you protect? You leave the back end to Chip.
Smith rifles one. Did he catch it? No. Great effort by Houston.
No question. They did everything they needed to do. Drive the ball down, possess the football. You got to come away with points in that situation. The scoreboard and the clock is not against them. They can still do it. I think what we need to understand, though, keep that running game going and tell Donovan Smith you don't have to throw the football deep every play. There are check downs. Let your playmakers make plays.
So JT Daniels, one of the co-captains in his first year with Rice, back at quarterback, putting up marvelous numbers tonight for the Owls. 3 touchdown passes in the first half, again with time to pass. It is incomplete, trying to find Braylon Walker. That'll bring up 3rd down.
You talked about momentum. Momentum is gained by execution. I said momentum is fleeting. Execution lasts forever. Right now, Rice isn't quite executing on the same level that they did in the first half. It's still early, but just looking at the way things are going, Rice needs to get it back. Get that execution as solid as it was in the first half.
Good look at A.J. Holmes, the defensive tackle from right here in Houston. Nelson Caesar, the defensive end from Missouri City. On 3rd down, Daniels dumps it off over the middle, and he's got room to run with blockers, does Dean Connors. Out to the 30-yard line, and Rice with a huge 3rd down conversion.
Well, look, I broke all the broadcasting rules by saying uh-oh while you were talking, and the reason why I did, it was a perfect call against the blitz. You see the late safety blitz coming, there's a screen, and there's a lot of green grass, and there's big dudes in front of them. Nice job of making the guy miss in the open field. That was number 24, A.J. Halsey, who's a good football player, but he came up grabbing air because Dean Connors is more than just a bruising inside back. He's got some niftiness to him.
22-yard pickup, and he had his center, Braden Nutter, downfield throwing a block. Nice play for the Rice Owls. Now 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line. Daniels hands it off. Connors down after a 2-yard gain. He is from Kamuela, Hawaii, but he played his senior year of high school in California at Murrieta Valley because of the pandemic. And again, you remember, if you go back to that time, a lot of places weren't going to play football, didn't know if you were going to have school, so you're trying to find a district that allowed for you to play. So he came to the mainland, wound up going to junior college, and he's been a really nice get here for Mike Bloomgren and the Rice Owls, showing some of his skills here in his 2nd year with Rice. Off the play fake. Pass complete to the tight end, Jack Bradley, the 8th leading tight end receiver in program history for the Owls.
Boy, Fleming took a shot right there. I think that was Clay Servin coming in to clean it up. I love offensive linemen who want to get down and help. With physicality, he's blocking 2 at the same time. Clay Servin is one of the best offensive linemen in the conference. He's an NFL prospect, and he's got some nastiness to him. I love it.
Yeah, Fleming had a couple of interceptions last week. First time we've called his name here tonight. Tough sledding inside. Brings up 3rd down and about 3.
Well, when you get your name called as a defensive player, you want it to be because you're knocking the snot out of someone else, not the other way around. But it was great watching Fleming on tape. Those 2 interceptions, he's a terrific football player.
Correct myself, it brings up 4th down. Yeah, those 2 interceptions have Malik Fleming tied for 2nd in the country in this young season. Coastal Carolina's Clayton Isbell had 3 picks week 1 at UCLA. Got a quick look there at the offensive coordinator, Marcus Tuiasosopo. But Rice did move the football, get away from the end zone, got a long 1st down, and now they will have their punt team on the field. For the first time, it's Connor Hunt. And he has a beauty coming to the near sideline, bangs at the 10, bounces around inside the 5. I don't think the Owls got there. No, they did not. They had a chance. It's all you can ask from your punter, Connor Hunt. But it made it into the end zone. A 64-yard punt. Rice 28, Houston 7.
During the kick, holding number 3 receiving team. That's a 10-yard penalty. First down, timeout on the field.
Penalty on Isaiah Hamilton, and now we will take a break with back here at Rice Stadium. YouTube TV is the new home of NFL Sunday Ticket. Being an NFL fan has never been easier. Watch every game every Sunday exclusively with NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV. Sign up now and get $50 off. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, visit NFLSundayTicket.com. In a game dominated statistically by the Rice Owls, the Houston Cougars are still alive. A big play to Samuel Brown. On first down, the Cougars keep coming.
Now that was a big lead throw. Wow. Great protection. Look at that throw. Over the underneath guy. Underneath the top guy. Great throw. And you know it was great because your receiver caught it in stride with the ability to get rack yards.
53 yards for the second time here in the third quarter. The Cougars on the move. This one thrown away smartly by Donovan Smith. And let's again take a look at that 53-yard pitch and catch.
Yeah, shout out to our producer Jeff Graham for showing us the route. Great outside release. Did you see him come back to the ball, back to the inside, bending that thing back? That's subtle, but it's important. If he stays outside, that ball doesn't get to him. He bends it back in to make the catch and then runs. Beautiful.
He lit up Memphis last year for 116 yards receiving. Had 106 week 1 this year against UTSA. Now Brown, the former Mountaineer from West Virginia, going at it again, lowering a shoulder and drilling the defensive back, DeVones.
Yeah, I love the route combination. They ran bullets. The outside receiver runs a dig route about 17 yards. The inside receiver runs the out route. And that's a great job of reading it by Donovan Smith. He's taking his time, seeing the defense. And I love how in this drive so far, he's taking what the defense gives him. Let's see him do that also with these checkdowns.
Well, his coaches say he is smart, authentic. His pass ball's incomplete, trying to find Golden, but they just heap praise on big number 1 in white, Donovan Smith, replacing the Arizona Cardinals' 5th-round draft pick, Clayton Tune, who was one of 4 Cougars taken in last year's NFL draft. Did you know Houston has 16 guys who are on opening day NFL rosters starting tomorrow, 6, including 3 quarterbacks.
That's amazing. And it talks about that speaks to the recruiting that's gone on here. And we talked about how getting back now in that Big 12, the recruiting is going to be even better.
On here on the NFL Network tonight for the Bayou Bucket. On first down after Rice's defense stopped Houston on 4th down, the Cougars could have converted.
Yeah, we talked about execution. It's important when you're down 21. Freeze it. You've got an open receiver in Joshua Cobb. Sometimes quarterbacks can throw you open, and sometimes they can throw you covered. That ball had to come out quicker with some mustard on it. That little loft ball allowed the defender, DeVones, to come in and make a play, and that's why it was a turnover on downs.
And I thought, you know, oftentimes quarterbacks on short passes like that one fire it too hard, and I'm thinking his wheels are like, I don't want to fire it too hard. He's close. I want to put a little something on it, but he put a little too little on it, a little too much finesse.
He kind of aimed it, right? And you understand when you got man coverage, you're going to have trailing defenders. There is a happy medium between firing and just enough mustard to get it where it needs to be.
Hakeem Ajijalaya, the nose guard, was slow to get up. He says his dream job is to be a farmer, if not the NFL. Young man from Katy, Texas, wants to go into farming. Good to see him back up on his feet and off the field for at least a play. JT Daniels, the quarterback for the Owls, facing second down. Gonna run the football. Connors able to get across the 45-yard line. It's another Owls first down. Two years ago, Dean Connors was at Riverside community college in California. Last year at Rice, carried the football just 28 times for 128 yards. Did have a game-winning touchdown reception against UAB, but a much bigger piece in the offense so far this year for Mike Bloomgren. Give it to him again. This time number 0 has nowhere to go. Stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Coming up to make the play, Hassan Hippolyte. I love the story behind number 5 as a 3-time captain. He transferred in from Colorado. He's the spiritual and vocal leader. A real dog on defense for Houston.
Yeah, he had an uncle, Mark Roman, that played for LSU and in the NFL for 12 years, so the pedigree is there. 10 years, excuse me.
Connor splits out wide to the left. Daniels from the empty set. Throwing the other way. On the slant, has a man.
Falls out.
And the Cougars have recovered. Malik Robinson with the fumble recovery as Houston takes it away.
I believe that was Isaiah Hamilton who knocked that ball out, and I think this is a catch.
First down, Houston.
This is not an incomplete pass. He's puts it away, and there comes Hamilton to punch that ball out. And what I love is the competition. You got to be competitive. You're not going to feel sorry for yourself. Oh, my receiver caught the ball on the slant. Bang that thing out. It's not going to come out on its own, folks. That's a Peanut Tillman punch out. Beautiful job of not giving up on the play.
Braylon Walker coughs it up, and the door remains open for the Houston Cougars late here in the third quarter. That Houston defense has stiffened after giving up 4 successive touchdowns on Rice's first 4 drives.
Wouldn't shock me all if Dana Holgorsen tries to take a shot here.
Smith dumps it off. Room to run across the 50-yard line and to the 45-yard line of Rice is the running back Tony Mathis Jr.
Well, we talked about Donovan Smith not taking the check down. That time he did. That's smart. He wanted to go deep. He's looking down. Again, that takes defenders away from the line of scrimmage. He hits the check down beautifully.
After the 21-yard pass play, going to the air again. Got a man in the second level open. It's a catch, just the second of the night for Joseph Manjack, but it's a big one, and another Houston first down.
Hey, look at Manjack. When's the last time you seen a receiver or any player without any gloves? I mean, he's a throwback guy, that guy Manjack.
That is the end of the third quarter.
15-yard gain for another first down. We head to the fourth quarter. It's a rivalry game here in the city of Houston for the Bayou Bucket. Owls up by 3 touchdowns.
Football.
After a 23-yard gain, Mathis trying again with help from his friends. He stopped at about the 1-yard line. Bowen up was Play Wyatt again, the 5'11" redshirt sophomore from Dallas.
Finish the drive if you're the Cougars. Whatever it takes, I would get Donovan Smith on the move.
Playing with tempo, throw into the end zone. Fight for the ball, and we've got a flag that comes down, and it goes against Sean Fresh.
Wow. So hard to play that position nowadays. You got 2 guys fighting and competing. Honestly, I just didn't see enough to draw a flag. I'd love to see a replay, though.
Well, I think we can do that.
Yeah, I know we can. Kevin and Jeff are on the job. Those are the guys in the truck that keep us right.
There's no foul for defensive pass interference on the play. It's going to be third down.
Now, how does that get adjudicated?
Well, I think some people stepped in and said that wasn't a foul. I mean, this is just football. This is big-time college football with 2 guys jostling. And that, you know what? That defender, Sean Fresh, has as much right to that area on the field as the offensive player. And if you're going to throw flags on that, you can't play defensive back anymore in football. I love the fact that they changed their mind.
The running back is Mathis. Donovan Smith hands it. No, fakes the handoff, follows him right into the end zone, and the Cougars are on the board to begin the fourth quarter.
Listen, I've broken my arm, patting myself on the back many times, partner, as you know, but that quarterback run game is there for them whenever they want it. I'm just going to be honest with you. Because when you run the quarterback, there's an extra blocker involved to lead them in. And see, the tailback goes from a runner to a lead blocker. That's Tony Mathis Jr. And that's a big tackle for a guy that's 6'5", 241. You got to bring the lumber to stop him, and all he needed was a yard and a half.
Dana Holgerson's club trying to cut the lead to 14. The injured owl was Josh Piercy. The two-time captain walks off under his own power, and now Jack Martin out of the hold of Lane Wilkins for the point after. It's good. Cougars making a football game up.
Sometimes when the defense asks questions, it's hard to find the answers. Well, this time, you've got the answer. And it's
well, the game is turned, but Rice still has a 2-touchdown lead. Is there enough time on the clock, 14:05, for the Cougars to complete their comeback?
Sure it is. You just need to play complementary football. The defense does their job, the offense does their job, and finishes drives. They finished that one. 2-possession ball game with 14:05 is plenty.
6-play, 64-yard drive. Covered just 1:24. I didn't know there was a breeze here in Houston tonight, but apparently there is. Blew the football off the tee there.
Very nice. I'm not feeling the breeze right now. Standing next to you, you're on fire.
I'm getting a lot of hot air up here. That's what I'm getting.
I resemble that remark.
It's 100 degrees today, I think. I don't know what the official high was, but man, another hot one here in Texas. Ball stays in place, now kicked away, and let's see if the Owls try to run it out. They do not. Taking a knee is Sean Fresh. And so now the Owls offense, which was unstoppable in the first 2 minutes, has been stymied ever since.
Yeah, first 4 drives, first 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns. The last 3 possessions, interception, punt, fumble. That's a recipe for disaster. We talked about Houston and their offense needing to protect their defense in the first half because the play count was mounting. Well, it's the opposite now. It's flipped. Rice has to sustain a drive here to give their defenders a chance to breathe, but also, it's only a 2-possession ball game. Be nice to put some points on the board yourself.
And you know what? Dana Holgerson told us yesterday, this is the definition of a trap game. Beat UTSA last week. Looking forward to playing TCU and opening up the Big 12 Conference next week. They've won 7 in a row in this rivalry series against Houston, or against Rice, rather. Perhaps the trap had been set. Do they have time to climb out of it? Big play by Luke McCaffrey. Yards after catch, a big play for the redshirt junior. There is laundry on the field as we take another look.
Look at the stiff arm and the spin.
Get off me.
Goodness. When he gets the ball in his hands, he looks like his big brother. He looks exactly like Christian, and that's a good thing.
Illegal blindside block from the 14 offense. Penalty's got the distance to the goal. First down.
That's Bowden Gruen, the junior tight end from Santa Ana, California.
Well, I'm interested to take a look at this one. Watch the bottom corner of your screen. Boom, right there. That's the old toss tee crack, but instead of it being a toss, it was just a little throw there, but that's how the game has changed. That's a defender that is sort of unprotected. And in my day, that's a great block. In today's football, they're protecting defenders and offensive players.
Daniels under duress, and he goes down at the 3-yard line. And once again, Nelson Caesar causing trouble up front for U of H.
Yeah, that time, that's the first time we've seen Daniels look uncomfortable and indecisive. Give credit to the secondary of Houston. They locked it down initially. He pumps, and then here comes the rush. We talk about complementary football, defense helping the offense. It's complementary on defense when the rush ties in with the coverage. Tight coverage on the early throw. He has to pack the ball. Here comes the rush. Excellent defense by the Cougars. you're at home, tell me where the open player is.
Even the guy standing next to you couldn't find it.
Exactly. But the deal was in the first half, though, Daniels had time to allow people to get uncovered. That time the rush was so fast, he patched the ball, he's getting hit.
Well, Rice is 6 of 9 on third downs tonight, but they've not faced a 3rd and 25 until here. Daniels dumps it off Connors. Can he make something happen with blockers in front? Up the sideline, out of bounds, though, at the 23-yard line, and a flag comes in. He didn't go out. He actually stayed in and came to the 28. But a flag comes flying in from the secondary.
Very safe call by Marcus Tuiasosopo. I like it. Nice little screen in case they're blitzing. You can catch them. If not, at least you get enough room for your punter who's not kicking from the end zone.
Holding, number 80, offense. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
Rawson McNeil, penalty declined, and so the Houston defense will force a punt.
Smartly declined, because if you accept the penalty, you take the penalty yards, but it gives them another chance on 3rd down. You decline the penalty, you know they're going to kick it, and you got your punter standing at the 10-yard line. That's good enough.
Well, Connor Hunt learned by a video last week that he was put on scholarship. The punter learned from former Owl and current Detroit Lions punter Jack Fox, who put it on tape, and they sent the video to Connor, and he and his family so happy to learn that a scholarship is his, and he punts it to about the 40-yard line, taking on the run, and this is a nice return for the Cougars. And they will start the drive from Rice territory after Malik Fleming makes a big play on the punt return. Don't go away. The Cougars are coming. 28-14. Jets Monday Night Football debut. Good Morning Football Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. only on NFL Network.
Shout out to all the wives in the world, because your relationship with your husbands is about to get tested again. Every year, this time of year, it gets tested.
That's my man Tyoka Jackson, former NFL defensive lineman. I'm Doug Sherman. What a move by Tony Mathis Jr. My goodness, then he hurdles the defender to go out of bounds after a nice 1st down run.
Twinkle toes Tony. Watch the 2-foot jump cut. Bam! That's all you need. And this speed to get to the corner and turn it.
Well, his first Power 5 scholarship offer came from Dana Holgerson when he was head coach at West Virginia. Mathis played there and now is transferred to follow him to U of H. Now on the receiving end of the pass from Donovan Smith. Monday Night Football, as this is week 1 of the NFL season. Last 9 games on Monday Night Football. This is not the Jets. His record with the Packers, 9-0.
Special quarterback. Let's see if he can change the trajectory of the Jets. Jets.
Taking a shot down the sideline, dropped in beautifully, but Golden was defended well by Sean Fresh.
It was dropped in beautifully, but Fresh was in position, so it had to be perfect. Beautiful throw, but not quite perfect. Let him out of bounds a little too much, but just look at the coverage. That's where you want to be. Cut him off a little bit, but don't do too much to draw the flag. Create the incompletion with your body position. Great one-on-one defense by Fresh.
Smith 19 of 33 for 188 yards, slinging it, a touchdown and a pick. Facing 3rd and long. Cougars on 3rd down, 5 of 11 so far tonight. And he is sacked by Coleman Coco. Young man from Pittsburgh, PA, out of Mount Lebanon High School. His coaches rave about his toughness, and with good coverage on the back end, the front end gets home for the sack.
And he's a low 6'5", 264 pounds, but power in that ability. But look at the coverage. Nowhere to go with the ball. We've seen great rush all day from the Rice Owls. This time it was great coverage. The rush gets there late, but that's that complimentary tie-in defense that you love to see.
He had a half sack in his FBS debut week 1 at Texas, with a big sack for an 11-yard loss here, forcing the punt from Houston. Fair catch. And the ball lands and goes into the end zone. Stepped up today, number 0, both running the football and receiving.
Yeah, he's got well over 100 total yards. Dean Connors, he's doing it, showing his versatility today. And obviously these 3 guys offensively have been the story. But let's not forget the offensive line, and JT Daniels is the biggest part of offense right now for the Owls.
Yeah, Connors has carried the football 6 times for 46 yards. That pass deflected back. Incomplete.
McCaffrey's a little upset because they got physical with him there. Let's see if it's within a 5-yard box where you can hit somebody. Oh, that's a little late. You know, and look, that's right in front of the official. Now listen, it was a tip ball, and there's no pass interference on tip balls. I would argue, though, that was a little bit late. That was right on the line of legal or not.
It's A.J. Halsey. He says his nickname is Mr. Gimme That. 12 INTs in his high school days. Hole on the right side, run through by Dalen Alexander. He's their short yardage back, but the freshman out of Weiss High School here in Texas with a nice run.
Well, this is what Rice really wants to be. They want to be a power, physical running team. And that's a hat on a hat. No free defenders until he's crossed the line of scrimmage and gotten the first down. You like to be able to be versatile. You know you've got a big lead quarterback. You know you've got some skill positions on the outside who can make plays, led by McCaffrey. But can you line up and punch people in the mouth when you know they're going to run the football? The answer so far today is yes.
Ottaviano back in there at running back on first down from the 35-yard line. And the 6th-year Owl gets back to the line of scrimmage before being dropped by Malik Robinson.
And Isaiah Hamilton as well, coming in and knifing in from that corner position and got a shot on the back. And if you look at the scoreboard right now, partner, the clock is starting to become slightly an issue for Houston. You've got to find a way to get off this field and get the ball back for your offense. And you see a pre-snap shift. Marcus Tuiasosopo says we like to be complicated with our shifts, but basic with our plays.
2nd and 11. Daniels has a receiver caught. And again, it's Connors able to pick up about 9 yards as Daniels continues to deliver.
When you have total command of the offense, you're cool. When you're staring down the barrel of big guys coming at you, you know where all your answers are. You're getting a lot of man coverage, and they're finding the right matchups, and Connor has had a big-time game.
Again, he is the leading receiver out of the backfield for Rice tonight from his quarterback, JT Daniels, who's having a big game. 3 touchdown passes in the first half.
The Cougar defense needs somebody to step up and make a big play right now on 3rd and short.
Showing pressure, they give it to Connors. He sidesteps it, gets hit. Doesn't quite get out to the 45-yard line. And that'll bring up 4th down and 2.
Decision time right now for the Owls. I like the call by Doug Belt, bringing up people late to screw up the blocking schemes and make the offensive player Connors start and stop in the backfield. That's usually going to be good for the defense.
I think you punt here.
No question.
I think the offense wanted to stay out there and go for it, but you've got to punt.
Yeah, that's the smart thing to do. Play the field position game. The clock is on your side right now as you go towards under 6 minutes to play.
And the offense did get a couple of first downs. They worked the clock. Now let your defense go to work and make the Houston offense go a long way. Don't give them a short field.
Rice. It's their first of the half.
And give them an easy chance to score.
You know a little bit about this football, don't you?
I've been working with you for a few years. Everything I know about football, I learned from Ty Nose Football.
Oh, my goodness.
At Ty Nose Football, right?
Wait, can I record this? This is beautiful what you're doing right now.
Been picking you on you all day. I guess it's nice about you. Well, this is week 2 of the college football season. Saw Coach Prime and the Buffs get another win today. I heard him say after the game he's never been involved in a field storm until today, which shocked me. But I thought maybe at Florida State they were so good they never would storm a field. But he said today that was the first time. Meanwhile, Utah rallies in the second half for a big win over Baylor. Ole Miss coming from behind to beat Tulane. Tulane was without its quarterback today. And the Bulldogs from Georgia cruise at home against Ball State. Is Georgia as good as it's been the last 2 years, and will the Dogs win 3 in a row?
I mean, look, that roster is as loaded as you're ever going to see. This 3-year run, including
season long. Check, baby.
It's not raining. The sun is gone. So, Tioka, why do they have the umbrellas out here at Rice Stadium?
Because you can zoom in with binoculars and look at play sheets and signals. And so you've got to thwart that with big old huge umbrellas. Smart. Never seen it before, but it makes sense.
Or is it just paranoia?
Yeah, a little bit of that too.
Samuel Brown has been the top receiver for Houston again this week. Let's see if Donovan Smith is able to find him. Instead, he's going to tuck it and run. Oh, out across the 40 with a bit of a hit near the sideline. DJ Arkansas from Denton, Texas, finally healthy following a couple of injury-plagued seasons. Runs the quarterback out of bounds after he picked up 14 yards.
No flag, and it shouldn't have been. I like the job of blocking by Samuel Brown to help out his quarterback and spring him for the first down.
Trying to get more passes his way.
That's right.
106 yards receiving last week, 106 and counting this week. Smith, lots of time. Still keeping the play alive and just throws it away, and nobody near.
That's smart.
Live to play another day.
Absolutely. Get outside the tackle box. If you got an open receiver, hit him. If not, just throw it out of bounds. No negative plays right now. The clock is working against you. The scoreboard is against you. You need excellent execution. This is the type of drive that you begin to build your identity and come together as a team if you can be successful.
This is the 23rd game in the college career of Donovan Smith, the first 21 over the last 3 years at Texas Tech. This is second with the Cougars. Good job to keep Manjack from breaking free after that short pickup. A sure tackle by Jonathan Jean, the strong safety.
You called it, because that would have been a big play if he gets out of it. But I like the call of getting the ball out of Donovan's hand. We know that pass rush is coming.
Who's that handsome guy on the right?
That's Doug Sherman. Oh, you said the right. I'm sorry.
3rd down and 6. Big play here for Houston, but they are in 4-down territory now. Smith off the hands of the receiver. Manjack, a little hot for him. Into coverage, and that brings up 4th down and 6.
Yeah, it's hot, but you got to make it. Get 2 hands on the ball, that's a catchable ball. And it had to be hot because he had defenders trailing tight. That's a great throw. Nice effort. But sometimes your best effort isn't good enough. You got to make the play. That's a good effort. But that ball hit both hands and went through it. You got to catch the football.
He's made a one-handed catch that made SportsCenter's #1 top play. Manjack couldn't haul it in that time with both hands.
Well, and you know, he's a guy that doesn't wear gloves. Maybe gloves would have helped him there.
Cougars 1 for 3 on 4th down tonight. Smith puts some air underneath it. Oh, it is caught by Matthew Golden to keep the Cougars alive.
Well, this guy's a special player, and they haven't really gotten him on track so far this season yet. But that's a straight go route. And he used the arm bar just to give him a little bit of space. And I'm telling you right now, this is one of the better receivers that you haven't heard of, but you will as his career continues to move forward. He's a big-time player.
7 touchdown receptions last year as a true freshman. The Owls trying to tell the officials that somebody on the offensive line moved. Gonna run it on 1st down. A lot of room up the middle. Making a man miss is Stacy Sneed, and we've got ourselves a 1-score game. I wrote in my notes from watching their first week game, he's got a little wiggle to him, and we saw it right there.
Yeah, and we talked about during the break, do you have the ability to run the football? And I think that big play by Golden put him in position that brought the running into the playbook for Hogerson. Now you can go ahead and run the football in that position of the field. Great call, excellent execution. 1-score game.
And the Alabama graduate transfer kicker Jack Martin boots it through to make it 28-21.
Pass Matthew Golden, Coach Hogerson said he's a different type of young man. Very mature, hardworking, and he can go get it. And you just watched him go get it right there. Take your life in your hands with man coverage against this guy because he can make plays. And then when you get down there, do you have the discipline to try to run the football when the clock's getting late? Again, it's the box, the light box of the Owls. Always bring the running game in play. You make one guy miss, break that tackle, and it's touchdown.
When it was 28-0 Rice, you had to be the ultimate optimist Cougars fan to think they could get back to this point, but they've done it. Do they have enough time to continue this comeback?
Yes, they do have enough time because they've got all their timeouts and they're kicking the ball off. 3 minutes and 46 seconds left. For 3 and out, you'll have plenty of time. The question is, can the execution from the defense be there? And then also the question is, the Owls, are they going to get conservative? Are they going to start running the ball and trying to play the clock game? Or will they continue to be aggressive and keep the ball in their best player's hands, JT Daniels? He's been the best player tonight for this offense.
Rice on the return, out to the 20-yard line, to the 25. Flag is down as Sean Fresh is tackled at the 25-yard line.
This is against the Owls. This is exactly what you don't need. Set yourself off schedule right from the beginning.
During the first down.
Well, that's an illegal block in the back. Again, that's what you don't want. Set yourself behind the sticks.
Next week, East meets West in this Sun Belt showdown. The Troy University Trojans host the Dukes of James Madison next Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network. And what a game today in Charlottesville. A lot of emotion for the University of Virginia after what happened in the offseason. But Tyson Lawton, 8 carries, 79 yards, couple of touchdowns. Improbably, JMU comes back to take down the ACC opponent.
They're supposed to be the little brother in that state of Virginia. Well,
yes.
Guess what? The little brother's gotten bigger and bigger every year.
Another game that had weather delays. It's been a crazy day of football. Rice needs to possess the football. Luke McCaffrey makes the secure catch. Popped as he goes out of bounds, so the clock stops after the tackle by Malik Fleming.
And it stops momentarily. They're going to wind this thing because it's still outside of the 2 minutes. So important to note that. And then it's also important to note, were they going to get conservative? And I like the fact that they're saying, no, we need a drive. So let's put it in JT Daniels' hands. He's been almost flawless all game. But this is when they need him to execute at his best.
Daniels looks left, now throws over the middle, and it's deflected and falls incomplete.
Now, we've seen a few batted balls in this game, and Daniels is only 6'2". So it's not like he's a tall guy with a high release point. And so
Ajijalaya is 6'2". He got his big paw there.
That's right, and he's an inside rusher. He's not known for his pass rush moves, so if you're stymied at the line of scrimmage, I want you rushing, but if you're stymied, go ahead and get your hands up in the passing lane and make a big play for our defense. Speaking of big play, this is one right here now. Got to find McCaffrey on the move.
He was the one in motion.
Oh,
this is dropped. Giovanni Johnson-McCray had a chance to make a play that would have gotten them a first down. Instead, it's 4th down and 4.
Well, if he doesn't double catch it, he's got a shot. But I'm telling you, I'm looking for number 10, McCaffrey, in the flat. Look at the top of the screen. Give it to him and let him make a play. I'm not saying it was a terrible decision. I'm just saying in situations like that, JT has to understand I've got matchups that I like if it's number 10 one-on-one against anybody.
So now the first order of business, if you're Rice, take care of business here on the punt and make sure Connor Hunt is able to get it away near his own end zone with the dangerous Malik Fleming waiting, and it goes off the side of his foot out of bounds around the 40-yard line. So the University of Houston is set up with 2:49 on the clock.
Well, we talked about momentum. I don't want to hear about momentum. I want to hear about execution. And so it hasn't been a momentum problem for the Owls. It's been an execution problem in this second half for the Owls. The momentum swings with the execution.
Dana Holgerson's club trailed 28-0 in the first half and now get the football back with a chance to tie it up. Just a 25-yard punt at the worst possible time for the Owls.
With 2 minutes and 49 seconds on the clock, the run game is available. I would not get away from it, especially the quarterback run game.
So the quarterback is Donovan Smith. The running back out there at this point, Tony Mathis Jr. Handed off Mathis running right. Cuts it back, finds a seam. And that's a 7-yard gain on first down.
Well, Houston's got quality depth at the tailback position, and what that does is that keeps fresh legs deep into the game. So they're rotating guys in, and they're fresh, and they're hungry. Because when they go watch film, they don't want to be the guy to let the team down. So everybody's running hard.
On second down, they run it again. The former Mountaineer leans forward to the 31-yard line to bring up 3rd down and 1.
Holgerson's discipline is so impressive. We know he's an air raid guy. That's been his history. But he says this is not what we want to run, especially going back into the Big 12. We got to be able to be balanced. We got to be physical. We just don't want to line up and throw the football every play.
Snead back in at running back. They give it to him, trying to get that yard, and he does. Able to fight his way through an arm tackle to just get enough yardage to the 29. First down, Cougars continue the drive.
Look, if I'm in the blue jerseys, I'm saying, guys, we were dominant in the first half. We've got to find it. We're allowing these backs to fall forward. That wasn't happening in the first half. We got to get it back.
From the 29, quick screen pass. Brown trying to reverse field. Already got 100 yards receiving, getting a big play here. The University of Houston is in the red zone, just yards away from tying it up.
Uncle Mo. Well, Uncle Mo comes where the execution is. That's where he lives. Look at the blocking. And now you've got a guy with some dynamic ability with the ball in his hands, and everybody's hustling downfield. Don't talk to me about emotion. Don't talk to me about momentum. Talk to me about execution.
Smith to the end zone. In single coverage going for Samuel Brown, but it's incomplete.
If I'm the Houston Cougars, I'm thinking about running the ball. Now, that's a throwaway play. So right now it makes this drive a little bit different in terms of complexion. I would have liked a first down run there, get the clock running, and make the Owls think about clock and burning timeouts. But the number one thing is you have to score, and I know that's what Dana's thinking at the top of his mind.
You see the Owls players hands on hip trying to catch their breath on a hot and steamy night for the Bayou Bucket. And now time is called. I believe it's Houston. Yes.
This is a 30-second timeout.
30-second timeout called by Coach Holgerson. A couple of years ago, we had Houston go 12-2. They beat Auburn in a bowl game. Huge expectations last year. They won only 8 games, trying to rebound this year as they move into the Big 12 Conference. Got a big game next week against TCU.
Listen, the Owls defensively has been really good today. I mean, think about this. Houston has scored 31 points or more in 13 consecutive games against Rice. So defensively, they've been good enough. They just need to be better right now.
Second half, they've been making the plays. It's been a complete role reversal where Rice dominated the first half. It's been all Houston since the break.
These aren't fluke plays. This is effort and execution that's gotten Houston to this point.
Going to follow Snead's lead block. Donovan Smith inside the 10. Again, a load at 240. able to get inside the 5-yard line.
And this was the quarterback run games does for you. It becomes sort of like a wildcat with this guy running the ball. It buys an extra blocker. Now he's got a convoy turning that corner. I like my chances with a guy that big and that strong who's running that fast.
So it's 3rd and 2 from the 3-yard line. They can get a first down by getting inside the 1. Taking their time with 50 seconds on the clock.
And the clock is running. The Owls are not using any timeouts.
Going to try and run it again with Smith for the tie. No, he is stopped short of the goal line, but he does get a first down with 35 seconds to go.
The ruling on the field is under gained and it's a first down short of the goal line. First down, Houston.
Well, Smith thinks he gets in. And here's the look down the line to see if that's true. All you need to do is break the plane. And that is close. That knee is down. The question is, where's the ball when the knee hits? And I think that's a great call by the official. He's standing on the line.
Will they just go quarterback keeper? They do. Smith lowers his shoulders. Touchdown! A PAT away from erasing a 28-0 deficit. You've been all over it all night, Tioka. Keep running the football.
Especially the quarterback run game. He's 6'5", 241 pounds. Athletes like this just don't come down the pike every single day. You got this dynamic player who's that powerful and that fast. You use him. Great job by the offense of the Cougars.
And that Houston defense is gassed. They've been on the field a lot in the second half on what has been a hot night.
On the field of a touchdown is under further review.
In this rivalry game, and no surprise, they will review it.
Got to. Scoring play. Now look at the initial hit. Nothing near. Second effort. Does the knee stay up? Hard to tell from that angle.
And again, that's your will linebacker and captain, Myron Morrison. And he gets pushed back. He's a 225-pound man, and he gets pushed back by the quarterback.
Oh, boy, is that knee down? It looks like it might be. No, it's
right,
down now.
Right there, but where was the football at that point?
And I don't think it's past the line. I mean, look, if you look where that is, no, I don't think he broke the plane. But again, to the point you were making, he's outweighed by almost 20 pounds. There's the initial. Good job of second effort. But I think that knee hits before the ball crosses the plane. So I think we're going to be second down and goal. The question is, though, the call on the field is a touchdown. So it has to be definitive evidence that the call on the field was incorrect to reverse it. It can't be what I think happened. It can't be maybe or probably. It has to be indisputable that the call on the field was wrong. That behind angle may not give the replay official the evidence he needs. The shin hits. That's down right there. There's the knee down. Where's the ball? I don't think it's crossed. I'm pretty sure it's not, but that's not how the rule's written.
Right.
And so, in the absence of a down the goal line look, technically, I don't think you can reverse it, which would be a shame, you know, if you're an Owls fan, but the rules are the rules. See if this gives them a better view. I doubt it will because it's still behind. Yeah, you can't see it from that look. We haven't seen a definitive look yet. This is down the line, but there's going to be a lot of bodies in between. Let's see. Nothing. I strongly believe he didn't cross, but strongly believe isn't in the rule book.
I think you're right. Coach Holgerson hopes you're right. If it is reversed, all is not lost. You'll still have the ball on the 1-inch line with 15 seconds to go. You can get off a play or two. But you certainly would rather kick the PAT right now and try to get to overtime.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
So it didn't say confirmed, but it stands to your point.
That's right. It just wasn't enough evidence there to overturn it. And it's a shame, but listen, it is what it is, and it will benefit at some point the Owls down the road. It's just the way the rules are written.
But that all becomes moot if the Cougars can't convert here. The snap from Gavin Gately out of the hole to Blaine Wilkins, a big PAT from Jack Martin. It's good. 28-28 our score.
Oh, man, college football. This is why I'm in love with this game. This is why I will never give it up. So much fun. You never know what's going to happen. And if you turn the channel away, you're going to miss something big.
Down 28-0. Donovan Smith and the Houston Cougars have come all the way back. And barring something strange, as we've got a Cougar slow to get up off the field, off the turf after that point after. Barring something crazy, we're likely headed for overtime. Tevin Shaw, a reserve offensive lineman, out there on special teams. Hopefully just some cramping on a hot and steamy night. That's a good sign right there. And Smith keeping his teammates up. Let's go. Houston has not lost in this series to Rice since 2010. Coach Holgerson told us yesterday in our meeting, not only do the coaches and the fans know about it, the players know how much it means to keep this cup here, and the fact that these two teams are not going to be in the same league going forward. Who knows when these two teams will play again. Whoever wins this and takes the cup home may have it for a long, long time.
How about that?
It's important.
Yes, no doubt about it. And how about the character of these Cougars, though? I would love to know what kind of volume was in that locker room at halftime. Was it calm, or was it some yelling going on? Was it some choice words, or was it just conversation? Whatever it was, it worked because it dialed up the concentration and the execution. It's been a cleaner game for Houston in the second half.
Head coach Mike Bloomgren, offensive coordinator Marcus Tuiasosopo have seen a 28-0 lead evaporate. Ball handled cleanly at the 10. Connors, who's had a big game on offense, able to get to the 25-yard line. Clock stops with 8 seconds to go. Well, do you just take a knee here and go to overtime, or you take a shot or two?
Yeah, I would just take the knee. I just think it's at this area in the field, I think it's just too many things that can go wrong. I think you kneel on the ball, and you go with the coin flip and execute your plan for overtime.
That's what it looks like. McCaffrey is the security blanket standing back in the running back position. And they're going to take the knee and go to OT. Wow. The whistle blow timeout called by Houston.
The second of the half. This is 30-second timeout.
Well, that's interesting. Can't take the timeouts with you. They don't carry over. So
please reset the game.
I'm not sure exactly what you want. Yeah, what you want to get right on a kneel down. I'm not sure. Did they have too many men in the field and maybe avoiding the penalty? That's the only thing I can think of why you would burn it here. But either way, it's going to be a kneel down.
Well, here's what Dana Holgerson said on the rivalry game. How it fits in the schedule, I don't know what the schedule looks like as they take the knee and will accept going to overtime, but I'm sympathetic to those games. Those games are fun to be a part of. It's a shame about Bedlam. It was a shame about the backyard brawl. I'd be disappointed if this game against Rice doesn't happen. And that's, of course, alluding to all of the seismic shifts in conference realignment over the last several years that we've lost so many good rivalry games.
And let's not forget about the type of recruiting that takes place in this greater Houston area. There's a lot of talent that comes out of this area, and winning games like this can help you. Not only just with recruiting out of high school, but with guys who are from the Houston area that go other places, then hit the portal. And you can use games like this to talk about what you're trying to build in their home city.
All right, let's get you set for overtime with the two sides tied at 28. Each team gets a possession from the opposing 25-yard line in the first 2 OTs. You must attempt a 2-point conversion after a TD in the second overtime, and then alternating 2-point conversions starting in the third overtime. Do you put either one of these sides, based on what you've seen throughout the full game, who, if anybody, has an advantage right now?
I don't think either team has an advantage. I think both offenses have shown they can.
So we're going to play
him, and maybe they're going to say he wasn't catchable, I guess. I mean, but you just can't go and knock down Samuel Brown with the ball in the air. That's illegal contact all day. I think the officials missed it.
Snead, the running back, is split wide to the right. Trips in the slot on second down. Smith looking the other way. Got a man wide open inside the 20-yard line. Going to Samuel Brown. Yards after the catch again. Down to about the 12-yard line. It's first down for the Cougars.
Boy, these receivers, these skill position players are special for Houston. Watch the effort. Just not happy and content to get the catch. He's breaking tackles, keeping the ball high and tight. The ball security is there. As long as the ball security is right, the fundamentals of carrying the ball, go ahead and fight for as much as you can get.
Golden, Manjack, and Burns, the receivers to the right. And again, isolated on the left is Brown.
Quarterback run game is there.
Give it to the running back. Hit behind the line of scrimmage and dropped. Nicely done by the Rice Owls defense. Josh Piercy behind the line of scrimmage to make the tackle.
Piercy gets up the field and creates penetration, sets the edge, and not only turns the ball back, but makes the tackle himself. That's a big league play.
He's the most consistent man along the defensive front for the Owls. Built like a mannequin, apparently walks around with his shirt off just to let his teammates know.
I'm so jealous.
You would too. Second and 10. Smith all day to throw the football. He's got a man inside the 10. Down to the 3-yard line goes Joseph Manjack, the fourth.
The protection has been better in the second half. The offensive line has created opportunity after opportunity for Donovan Smith, and he's done a great job of just finding people because he's got the time. And we talked about Manjack with the no gloves and how tough he is. That's a great job on the crossing route. Comes all the way across the field to make the play.
Yeah, number 0 for Houston always represents the toughest guy on the team. He follows Grant Stewart, Derek Parrish, and on and on and on. Third down and a yard to gain. Smith throws it up, has a man. Touchdown, Matthew Golden. Cougars strike first in overtime number 1.
When we talked about didn't have a big game last week, we thought we'd hear from him this week, and he has shown up. Scissors concept, 2 receivers to the right, they cross, and that is just a beautiful job of body control. Watch the concentration as he turns around and catches the football and gets his feet down. Golden is golden.
Houston played a school record 3 overtime games last year. They look comfortable to start their first OT affair of 2023. Martin's point after is good. Plenty of leg. It was true. And now the pressure goes to Rice after Houston has rattled off 35 unanswered points.
You got to answer the bell. That's what it comes down to. Complimentary football. They strike first. You gave them the ball first. That's what you wanted to do. To see exactly what you needed to do to either win the game or stay in it. Now you know you need 7. So the whole plan, Marcus Tuiasosopo. Yeah, I mean, I don't use a lot of soap, and maybe that's why I was.
I'm just waiting for you to stop spitting on me trying to say that.
Marcus, I'm sorry, bro. But listen, you know exactly what you need. It's a touchdown. Clock's out of it. You're not worried about anything but matriculation. experience is invaluable, and they needed, listen, this is a program that's played a lot of quarterbacks, and so they needed someone to step in and solidify it. No FBS program has started more. Started 13. Well, now, number 18, JT Daniels has stepped in, and this position is solidified.
2nd down and 2. Connors the back. Takes the ball from Daniels and is able to get enough yardage for the 1st down. Well, I may have spoken prematurely. Are they going to move the chains?
Yep. 1st down.
There we go.
Just taking their time. Don't try to rush them, Mr. Sherman.
The officials have a slow heart rate as well. I don't. But call it. I thought that was a 1st down.
All that chocolate you've been eating, I know it's going fast.
Whatever I can get out of your hands. Timeout Rice.
Timeout Rice.
That'll leave both sides with 1 remaining.
30-second timeout.
Whenever they've gotten in that empty set, that ball has come out quick, and we've seen the Houston Cougar defenders along that defensive front begin to get their hands up. They showed empty there. We'll see if they change it, but again, when that ball's coming out quick, it's imperative that you get your hands up in throwing lane, because generally you're not going to get there. Try your initial move. If you're stymied, get your hands up. You can't stop rushing, though. Rush first. You get blocked, hands up and block the ball.
And, you know, Daniels was recruited at such a high level as a 9th grader. He was being recruited by both his OC currently and his head coach currently while they were at Pac-12 schools.
How about that?
Tuiasosopo was an assistant at USC recruiting Daniels as a 9th grader. At the same time, Bloomgren, who was at Stanford, was doing the same. These relationships go back, what's that, 8 years? 9 years? Whatever that is. Hoping that experience, that relationship can come up with a touchdown here in the 1st overtime. Daniels lofts it up. The line to gain is the 5.
If I'm Coach Tuiasosopo, I'm dialing up something for number 10, Luke McCaffrey.
Daniels flushed. Gonna run for it. Slides to the 5-yard line. But they will mark him at the 6 after a 9-yard gain.
I love the competitiveness of JT Daniels. The scouting report says he's not a runner, but the decisiveness of that run was nice.
During the play, personal foul.
Well, there was a personal foul. And it looks like McCaffrey got the call he was looking for.
Yeah, he was on the business end of that personal foul. I think they got rough with him. And this is not the time to lose your composure and do something silly. If you keep him out of the end zone, you win the game. Let's see what happens.
Number 10 in blue.
On the hash.
Face mask right there.
Goodness gracious.
Yep, turned him around.
Whew.
Well, that'll do it. And so it sets up Rice, 1st and goal, inside the 5-yard line. 4 chances to punch it in and try to tie the game. Micah Barnett, one of their fullbacks, is in on the right side of the line. Do they go with their 2